Ladies and gentlemen, I have major breaking news. I can't believe what I'm reading. But according to the Daily Mail, the New York Post, and several other outlets, my friends, Joe Biden might be corrupt. I know many of you have probably just gasped and maybe even fallen out of your chairs, unable to process what I have just said. Our beloved Uncle Joe, Vice President to Barack Obama, crooked as they come? I can't believe it. Well, I think it might be true. Joe Biden's cancer charity spent more than $3.7 million on staff salaries, but distributed zero towards research grants over 2 years, tax filings reveal. Documents show the charity received $4.8 million and spent $3 million on staff salaries in 2017 and 18. And the charity's president received $429,000 in 2018. The Biden Cancer Initiative spent nearly $1 million on travel and conference expenses in those 2 fiscal years. Joe and Jill Biden founded the charity in 2017 after Beau Biden died of a brain cancer diagnosis. Zero towards research. Wow. My friends, I actually used to be a director at a nonprofit. I was a director in training at a couple other fundraising outfits. I did events and marketing, working directly with the cash flow for these organizations. And I will give you my personal opinion based on what I am reading. Joe Biden's crooked. I know. I did a bit in the beginning, but the reality is, yeah, I know. Biden Inc., we knew he was crooked. You see, this is, in my opinion, a very clever way to launder money. Now, launder, not necessarily in the sense like Biden went and robbed someone's piggy bank and then shuffled that money into his charity, but that if you want to clean money from a source, say a bribe. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but let's say this. You got Joe Schmo over here, and he works for the government. Let's say he's a local, a Food and Drug Administration's rep of some sort. Well, drug company says, yay, we got this drug that we want legal in this country, and we're going to make millions upon billions of dollars. The only problem is we got this little teeny weeny side effect that kind of makes people go blind. Can you pass it for us? Most people will be okay. Tell you what, we'll sweeten the pot. Now, we can't bribe you. That would be illegal. But I couldn't help but notice you got a cancer research charity. Well, we're actually looking for some write-offs, and we'll put it in the portfolio. Then the FDA guy goes, wow, yeah, I do, sit on the board of this charity. It's so great that you'd want to help poor children with cancer. So the dude approves the drug that's not all that safe and tells everybody it is. A small handful of people go blind, but hey, the drug ends up helping, I guess, not everybody. Well, how does he get that bribe money? It's actually kind of simple. The donation went to the nonprofit. It's dispersed through salaries. Well, that's legal work. I work for a nonprofit. We got to go to conference and talk and fundraise. Where does all this money come from? Why does Joe Biden's new nonprofit bring in millions of dollars and then only pay out salaries? Now, again, I'm not accusing Joe Biden of anything, but I'm telling you, that's exactly how it works. When I worked for one nonprofit, I was surprised to find that while they were claiming half of the money donated, which is really bad, by the way, goes to the actual cause, it should be something like 90% goes to the cause and 10% administrative. Well, I was surprised to find it would appear clever accounting. It was zero. Like most of these nonprofits, here's what you understand. A nonprofit can say, donate to us, we do research. And then they give 8% or some microscopic amount to actual research and just pay their exorbitant salaries and say, but we're building awareness. That's the name of the game. In reality, a nonprofit, notably a 501c3, is a good way to launder money because of tax exempt status. You don't necessarily need to be tax exempt. You could do the same thing through an LLC, but donating to an LLC doesn't quite make sense, and it gives someone else a tax write-off. There's a couple different nonprofits we have filings, 501c4 and 501c3. A 501c4 doesn't have to disclose their money, but I believe 501c4 can't be political. A 501c3 has to publicly disclose in what's called a 990. When I see that Joe Biden dispersed almost all of their money, a good portion in salaries and zero in research, my personal opinion is that Biden is likely taking money from somewhere and then, cleaning it by running it through a nonprofit. Again, I have no evidence he's actually doing that, but having worked personally in nonprofits, it seems kind of dirty, doesn't it? A lot of the world's biggest nonprofits, you'd be surprised, to do this. Now, I'll tell you what isn't a red flag in my opinion. They're paying this guy. They mentioned that one guy ends up getting a salary of $400 and whatever $1,000. Do they say? Where is it at? They say Gregory Simon, the charity's president, received $429,000 in fiscal year 2018. That's actually not a red flag at all. Now, the fact that they're not giving to any charities to like research and stuff is, but high salaries, totally normal. And hear me out. So I worked for these nonprofits, and often you'll hear tricks. Some of these bigger nonprofits, they have a trick where they'll say something like, I only receive compensation of $40,000 a year because we care about the cause. But what they actually do is they'll run two different nonprofits, a 501c4 and a 501c3. And they'll do something, they'll call it like, they'll call it Mountain Charity Environment Trees, whatever. Then they'll create Mountain Environment Charity Trees Fund. And the fund pays out massive exorbitant salaries. That's a way to get around. They do these PR tricks. But the reality is when it comes to CEOs of nonprofits, they'll probably get paid well because they have to be competitive. And if you really want the nonprofit to succeed, you want the best talent. And that means you got to pay a lot of money. So I have no problem with people getting high salaries at nonprofits. Otherwise, those people would just be like, I'm going to go make money at a for-profit. Well, we want people to work for charities that raise money for cancer, right? We got to pay him well. And this dude getting 400-something thousand as the president, actually not that much considering it's a nonprofit making, millions of dollars. But you'd expect some of that money to go to something, right? They say Gregory Simon, that's the guy they mentioned his salary. Simon, who spearheaded the Obama administration's cancer task force, was paid nearly double his 2017 earnings. Danielle Carnival, the former chief of staff of Obama's cancer moonshot task force, was paid $258,000. The director of communications, science and policy, blah, 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 was receiving six-figure salaries. The tax filing showed the Biden Cancer Initiative spent $56,000 on conference and $59,000 on travel in the 2017 tax filings. You see, I'm sorry, man. My opinion is I don't see good intentions here. I don't. It's so easy for someone in government to be like, I have a nonprofit. Donate to my nonprofit. Thanks. Your pipeline's approved. You see how it works? They say the Biden Cancer Initiative was created after Beau died. Biden led Obama's task force. After leaving office in 2017, the Biden Cancer Initiative continued in its quest to find cancer treatments. The Biden Cancer Initiative will develop and drive implementation of solutions to accelerate progress in cancer prevention, detection, diagnosis, research, and care, and to reduce disparities in cancer outcomes, said a press release from that year. Take a look at what he said. The initiative will develop and drive implementation of solutions to accelerate progress. What is a solution to accelerate progress? A meeting, of course. And, well, in these meetings, you can talk about anything you want. Like your pipeline. You see how it works? I'm not making any accusations. The board of directors included NFL sideline reporter Aaron Andrews and Jimmy Taboo Gomez, a cancer survivor and musician from the Black Eyed Peas. The Biden Cancer Initiative suspended operations in July 2019 as Joe Biden became further entrenched in the contentious 2020 election battle. Today, we are suspending activities given our unique circumstances. We remain personally committed to the cause. But at this time, we'll have to pause efforts, Simon told the Associated Press. Now, look, that's good that they didn't carry on. The Clinton Foundation operated while she was still Secretary of State. But I guess it's different if you're going to be the president and you've got to disclose assets. There was a story a while ago about, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg. They said he donated most of his money. And then it was, he donated most of his money to an LLC that he owns. And all of these people were like, he's doing the right thing. You actually looked at what he was doing. And a bunch of other rich people who joined this initiative to donate their money, they're actually just protecting it. I tell you, man, it's so easy. And these loopholes, unfortunately, you can't close them. You really, really can't. Because the only way to close them would be to be like full-on communist. If someone has a right to own a business or a nonprofit, they can raise money for it, and intent is, invisible. We don't know why these donations came in. And unless there's something on paper saying, I hereby accept a bribe, then you're never going to know. I will say maybe we should have something where it's like when you're in public office, you should remove yourself from any and all charities. The only problem is family members, you can't close the loopholes. You know, you could have a brother or a mother or a father or a cousin start the nonprofit, and then they could even have a different last name. And then you could say, we'd like you to donate to this charity for your write-offs. You did? Your pipeline's approved. You see how it works? There's always going to be corruption. The goal, I guess, is to mitigate it. I'm not outright accusing the Biden nonprofit or whatever. I'm just saying, having worked in these nonprofits, I don't like how that looks. They accomplish nothing, operate for 2 years, and then shut down. You know, I gave you my opinion on it. Whatever. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.